What's up, guys? Today we're going to be reviewing UFC 323 Merab Dvalishvili versus Piotr Yan 2. And boys, we are free. We are free of this tiny little battle gnome 50-45ing our favorite bantamweights. We get this little battle gnome 49-46ing our favorite bantamweights. What a show. Obviously, we saw Merab lose tonight, coming off of an impressive win streak, an impressive 2025 streak, which did have him in bantamweight GOAT conversations. A lot of people's favorites. I would have said my favorite until tonight, but obviously Merab loses his strap. Not the outcome we were expecting tonight, and Piotr Yan, the new champion, defending 27 takedowns, which is very surprising. That's about the amount of takedowns, times that Corey Sandhagen got taken down in his last fight with Merab. So it's honestly very shocking to see this outcome for this title fight. Now this is the fight that I really want to get into. We have a brand new champion in the 125-pound division. Joshua Van puts out Alexandre Pantoja with just 2 punches. He punched him twice in the head. TKO, knockout. Pantoja's out cold. Joshua Van, is he the new flyweight GOAT? I'm kidding. Pantoja got injured halfway, or 26 seconds into this fight, broke his forearm. So, obviously we have a new champion, but this will be getting ran back as soon as Pantoja is healed, which, depending on that time, we may see Joshua Van fighting the winner of this next fight, or maybe rematching Pantoja immediately, or just taking on a completely new flyweight. We will have to see, but obviously, you see the profile picture, you know who I was riding for. I love Pantoja, but I'm very happy Van is a champion. I just wish it didn't happen like this. Next up, we got Brandon Moreno versus Tatsuro Taira. Honestly, I did kind of see this one coming, or at least I was hoping for this one so much that I shifted this outcome into happening in my head, because I really wanted Taira to win, because honestly, I did not expect my GOAT, Joshua Van, to pull this out. I wanted him to, but I didn't expect it. So I was hoping for fresh competition for Pantoja. So in my mind, I was riding for Tatsuro Taira. And obviously, he gets it done round 2. TKO. Very impressive performance by him, honestly, to take out a very seasoned fighter like Brandon Moreno. Lego Man Moreno. So, obviously, unless Joshua Van gets his immediate rematch with Pantoja, we may be seeing Tatsuro Taira step up and fight Joshua Van. And honestly, that is going to be such a good fight. That is going to be such a high-level striking match, and I am very excited to see that. And so, yeah. I don't know. Let me know what you guys thought, because I was so confident in Tatsuro Taira only because I needed him to win so badly, but maybe the opinion was a little more split there than I'm thinking. But I was riding for Taira all the way. Henry Cejudo, your time has come. Frank Ocean's boyfriend has ended you. But in all honesty, we see Peyton Talbott pull out of this fight with a unanimous decision, or not pull out, but pull off this fight with a unanimous decision, 30-27 across the scoreboards. Very impressive performance by him in his final, or in his first real high-level fight that we see. Obviously, dominating in the striking, and being surprisingly more active with the takedowns and the control time than I sort of thought he would have been. I thought he would have wanted to keep away from Cejudo on the ground as much, but he was not very afraid to go there, sort of as I thought he would be, and showed some higher level competition than I thought he had in him. So that was a pretty impressive performance by him. And Cejudo, it's time to go, bud. Obviously retiring after this fight. Pretty lackluster way to end off a career like his. At one point he was a double champion, but he has not won a fight since 2020, so, it's alright. Might be time for him to go, but he can go ride for Kamaru Usman title shots on their podcast that I will not be listening to, so. Jan Blachowicz versus Bogdan Guskov. Both of these boys sort of traded back and forth in rounds 1 and 3, but obviously rounds 1 and 3 went to Jan Blachowicz, 10-9. But then Bogdan Guskov secures himself a 10-8 in round 2, which is very surprising. I feel like we're not really giving out 10-8s as much on the scorecards, but I think that was fair. He had him as far, Bogdan had Jan almost as far out of that fight as you can get somebody, but obviously couldn't quite get it. Jan throws up a pretty crappy heel hook, leg lock attempt to just try and throw out a sub, but obviously does not get there. And Guskov really had control for that entire round, so I'm completely fine with a 10-8 there. Goes to a draw decision. I kind of expected Jan to retire. I really saw this as his last fight. So the fact that he didn't do that is kind of crazy. So I'm not really sure what you do next with him. But, yeah, decision draw, 10-8 rounds. Pretty surprising fight. Didn't really expect to see that between these two. I saw one of these guys going down pretty early in the fight by KO. Wasn't sure who, but, yeah. Now, I'm sorry to disappoint, but these next 3 fights I couldn't quite catch. I had somewhere to be, had to go get some stuff done, so I was not able to witness these, but obviously Manuel Torres by TKO, Terrence McKinney gets subbed by Chris Duncan, and Macy Barber does not pull out of this fight with gonorrhea this time, or whatever happened. But there is one fight that needs to be addressed because it fits the agenda that we are all pushing in the Big 25, and that is that Jason Herzog is a terrible ref. Sadikov, with 10 seconds left in the round, is getting hammered on. He catches these 2 monster elbows and he goes down to the ground, and he's tucking his head down between his arms, and Ziem is just hitting him over and over again. 10 straight seconds of ground and pound, no defense, no nothing. And unlike what this says, the fight was not called with 1 second left. Jason Herzog, who is currently being investigated, does it again and lets the fight go to the end of the round. So he did not call it before the bell. Sadikov survived to the end of the bell, and then he calls it. Jason Herzog is either a terrible ref or someone is paying him to be doing these decisions, because this is another fight that he is just done whatever he wants. He lets the guy get hit for 10 whole seconds and then goes, oh shoot, this isn't going to look too good if I let him stand up. So he calls it 3 seconds after the bell rings. Shady behavior from a shady guy. I'm telling you. Let's get some of these fights checked out, okay? I'm telling you. The UFC is having a terrible reffing problem, and he's part of it. The fall off of Marvin Vettori needs to be studied. Bruno Ferreira pulls this fight away, unanimous decision. He's going to get himself ranked. That's amazing. Good for him. Marvin Vettori loses yet another fight. Now, this one was closer. Obviously, just needed to win. one of those rounds, and he'd have gotten the nod, but he didn't. He's going to fall out of the rankings at this point, and Bruno Ferreira is going to take his spot. So the question is, what do you do with Marvin Vettori? He was fighting just below the main card on UFC 318. He was headlining fight nights not too long ago, and now he's losing on the early prelims. What do you do with this guy? I don't know, but Marvin Vettori loses. Very unfortunate. Let's just roll straight into this next one. Edson Barboza needs to retire because this was upsetting to watch. Watching Jalen Turner just do whatever he wants, just throw whatever he wants against Edson Barboza. And Barboza did almost get the kicks going, but he didn't. He didn't get them going. He did not do what he needed to do. So Jalen Turner is just able to wail on him repeatedly. And Barboza was bleeding all over. He was cut up. It was a unfortunate fight to watch. So Barboza needs to retire. Get Jalen Turner climbing back up towards lightweight rankings, lightweight gold, whatever he needs to do. He can definitely make a run if he's actually willing to hurt people for once. But Edson Barboza, you are done, okay? We all know Prime Barboza beats Khabib. Prime Khabib, it's fine. But we're not Prime Barboza anymore. It's time to go. Just hang the boots up, old man. We'll all let you go. It's okay. Mansour Abdulmalik guillotine chokes out Antonio Tricoli, round 1, a minute into the fight. This was insane because obviously watching this live, we see Abdulmalik on top in full mount, just working to get position, and then obviously gets off and gets the neck of Tricoli in a guillotine. And honestly, when he stood up, I kind of thought that was him returning the fight to the feet, but he stands up, he's got the choke locked in, and Tricoli sort of pats him on the back one time, and I didn't really think that was a tap. So when the ref stepped in, I thought it was an early stoppage, until you can hear this on the live broadcast feed. Tricoli yells, "Fuck! How ass are you that you get subbed?" And obviously, no disrespect to him. He's kicked my ass in a fight. But how do you end up in that position? Getting subbed a minute in, and then obviously he was very upset with himself, screaming at the end. But great fight from Abdulmalik. Still undefeated. Obviously has that head clash with Cody Brundage back in the summer, but I think that's a great win, and I'm going to love to see what he has next. But Antonio Tricoli he's something, man. Don't quite know if he's UFC caliber right now. He's only lost in the UFC, I'm very sure, but yeah, quite an interesting fight. Interesting standing guillotine, and obviously Tricoli very disappointed with himself. Obviously, the last fight we're looking at today, Muhammad Naimov versus Myron Santos. The literally only thing I remember about this fight, because I'm recording this at 1 in the morning, and this happened at like 5 p.m., is just Myron Santos kept slapping Naimov on the back during the clinch interactions, and it was honestly one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. Just full arm up, bringing it down, slapping him straight on the back, trying to just create some discomfort. And who knows, maybe it worked, because he got a late TKO in the 3rd round. Very impressed with him. That was a pretty good win. But just, why are we spanking a guy on the back mid-fight? Come on. And of course Joe Rogan was literally glazing him for it. seeing a little bit of redness on Naimav's back. Just, oh, you don't want to be there. That's not comfortable. He's really going to feel that like it's a leg kick. Yeah, interesting fight, interesting technique from Santos. Would love to see more fighters doing that, especially some of the women fighters. Don't know who said that, but overall, this was this was a fantastic card. Other than Pantoja going down, majority, finishes, subs. We didn't really get that many, decisions other than in the main event. But I mean, a 5-round championship fight going the distance between two high-level tacticians like this. I'd expect nothing better. I'd want nothing better. So, yeah, overall, very interesting card. Really shakes up what the UFC looks like now with these two guys being champion. So, and wouldn't surprise me all that much if we see these two boys in there very soon, because obviously Joshua Van took no damage. So, yeah. Obviously this was my this will be the first video on the channel. Didn't even think to mention that. This will be the first style of this video I've ever made. So let me know what y'all think about it, and let me know any more recommendations. Obviously, with the UFC going to Paramount, we're going to have a very big change in how everything's going to look, and I will be even more tapped in then than I will be now. So won't be missing fights, won't be having to look back at ESPN for this. So thank you so much for watching the video. If you're still here, leave a like, comment, and yeah, let me know what your favorite fight from this card was, because this was honestly such a good card. Mine would probably be Baranowski versus Ibo Aslan. So, love all of y'all. Let me know. One thing I just want to amend in this video is that obviously Pantoja went down with an injury. I stated that it was a broken forearm, but it appears that it was just something popping out in his elbow, which obviously still not good, but obviously much better than some sort of fracture or break in his arm. So we might not be seeing Van versus Taira as soon as I thought, but obviously there's going to be a rematch of this fight, and my goat is still winning. Take care, y'all.